On today's show, how to become a plumber in Houston.
I'm John Eccles.
Richard Sod.
Welcome, y'all. So what we're going to discuss today is how to become a plumber in Houston and what it takes. First of all, let's talk about the job description of a plumber. What does a plumber do?
We're in such an exciting industry.
We really are. We really are. It is a lot of fun.
Evolving every single day, moving forward, and things are changing rapidly.
Absolutely. So a plumber.
What does it take if you want to do the job?
It protects the health and safety of the nation, right? So
Correct.
Right down to it, you have to be an honest person, right? What else?
Which is integrity.
Absolutely.
Motivated.
You have to be motivated.
Yes.
Right? You have to be mechanically inclined. I kind of think that goes without saying, but you got to be able to take apart things, put it back together, right?
Now, starting off, we're going to help you along the way with that, of course. But your brain has to be engineering type brain to be able to take things apart, put them back together, and engineer end results.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely. So you also have to be a good communicator with customer service kind of at your top notch, right? You got to be some sort of a customer service oriented person.
That's a must.
Yep. You need to
Did we say communication?
Yeah, oh yeah, communicator. Got to be a great communicator.
You have to be at the highest of communication around these issues so people can understand what it's going to take to fix things and specifically their problem.
That's right.
Right?
Got to be a good driver. Thousands of miles a year on these vehicles. You got to.
I'm not going to hire you if you're a bad driver. No.
Last but not least, you have to be able to pass a criminal background and drug test.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, I mean,
that's a continuous drug test.
Absolutely.
That we do.
Absolutely.
So it's random. We work for the city of Houston, and we have to provide them with data saying that we are doing that.
Absolutely.
And we're not doing it because of that. We do it because it's the right thing to do as well.
And in this industry, just like any others, right? There's you start here, and you can go as high as you want to go.
That's right.
Right.
That's motivation.
You know, and we're about to go into this, right, where we're going to go over all these different licensing one at a time to kind of show you the path that this industry has laid out for people.
Let's hear what Ron has to say first.
Okay. How long does it take you to go from that helper to being able to ride on your own?
Oh, it takes about 4 years. You've got a lot of training and a lot of hours that go into preparing yourself to be responsible for a job and run a truck and handle the money but once you get to that point and you feel like you contribute back to the company, it's such a great feeling.
Thanks, Ron. So let's get more into licensing.
Yeah, let's really dive in and really show this path that the state's laid out for us.
That's right.
Right. So the first thing that happens is you have to become an apprentice.
Correct.
Right? That's
and when does that happen?
That should happen upon hire. You should fill out the form to become an apprentice, because without it, you're not accumulating hours towards your license. It's
Correct.
a must.
It starts when that application is paid for,
right?
And they receive it, your hours start. So if you wait a month or 2 months or 3 months,
you're wasting
that
hours.
just puts you a little bit further behind before you can actually sit for your first license. You must be 16 years of age, and you have to be sponsored by an employer just like us.
As you have seen how to get your apprentice license, this is the part in your career where you're almost like a helper. You're learning fittings, you're learning parts, you're learning terms. You're probably on a shovel a little bit, digging holes, backfilling them in. Mm-hmm. You are hands-on with a licensed plumber that's state licensed, and he's teaching you on the job. So what did you have to do to become licensed, besides on-the-job training?
You learn the codes, you learn the policies, you learn the materials. Once you get an understanding of all these aspects, then you're tested and certified by the state to be able to go out and perform the work on your own.
Once you've done that and you've accumulated hours, right, 4,000 hours, you get to go and get the next license, which is your tradesman's license. This license is going to allow you to do plumbing work on your own inside of a residential home.
That's right.
No commercial, just residential.
That's right.
Okay, and as you can see, Your high school diploma is not required for the tradesman, but you must have 4,000 hours of documented experience through your current apprentice registration. You also have to have 24 hours of board-approved classroom training. And the most nervous part for a lot of guys, you have to go up to the state, Austin, Texas, to the state board and pass the sanctioned certification test.
That's correct.
Once you do that, though, man, that's a big milestone for guys to get that license, and you're on your own and you're doing things, and it's really exciting for guys, and it's a big step.
That license allows you to go by yourself. It says you are certified now to go by yourself and do jobs.
That's right.
At my house or your house.
That's right.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're ready to be responsible for a $100,000 vehicle with all the parts and everything in it. That is up to us when we think you're ready to take that vehicle and go, and that has to do with your motivation, communication, and how quickly you learn.
That's right. All right, so after the tradesman, what's next? Well, after another 4,000 hours, which is a total sum of 8,000 hours, you can go and get your journeyman plumbing license. This license is going to allow you to do plumbing anywhere as long as you're working for a plumbing company.
Commercial or residential.
Commercial or residential.
Or multifamily.
Notice the difference here. High school or GED is required to get this license. 8,000 hours of documented experience. You have to have registered as an apprentice. You have to have obtained your tradesman's license. 48 hours of board-approved classroom training. And then once again, here we come Austin, state-sanctioned test. You have to be certified and pass that test to become that journeyman plumber. Now that is again, another milestone, 8,000 hours. That's roughly, if you're working, depending on where you're working, that's 4 years of on-the-job training that you're getting before you can get that. That is, again, a huge milestone for guys. It lets you, it gives you a safety valve, honestly. If you're living, I know we're talking about becoming a plumber here in Houston, but when I got my license, my dad always told me, he says, look, when you become licensed, you can go anywhere in the state of Texas.
Correct.
You want to move to Odessa? Hey, you got a plumber license. You can be a plumber there. You want to move to Dallas? I don't know why you would, but you can.
Right.
But here in Houston, obviously.
Or El Paso.
Yeah, or El Paso.
Wherever you want to go.
But here in Houston, it's a great city for this. And again, the journeyman license is something that all plumbers should really strive for, right? It's to obtain. Mm-hmm. You know, commercial, residential, lets you have your pick of the thing. You're good to do anything you want. Now that we've kind of talked about all these different licensing, right? Let's address the elephant in the room. How much do you get paid?
What's the opportunity in the industry? That's what I call it. If you're going to start work in this industry, you're going to start off typically around $20,000 to $25,000 a year.
Right. That's
which is good.
That apprentice level.
That's a apprentice level, and you're going to stay there for a couple years until you learn. And it costs us a lot of money to train you to where you need to be so you make a lot of money. And the goal is for us to help you in every aspect of your career here to get you where you need to be so you can supply for your family, you can get the things and goods and services that you want, and homes or multiple homes or whatever your goals are. We are here to help you achieve that. Now, in saying that, you get your tradesman's license. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be in a vehicle. But if you think about it, when you get that vehicle is when your income is going to start going up. And that's going to depend on your communication, how you explain to our customers what their issues are and how to fix them. And when you are in that vehicle and responsible for that vehicle, of course, your income starts to escalate from there. Now, let's take an example of a guy that has 6-7 years experience. He's going to have his journeyman's license. He's going to be responsible for a vehicle and everything in that vehicle. What do you think that guy is going to make? If he can communicate well and he's motivated and he's put the time in.
So it is very easy to say, because I know a lot of them, right, in this industry. If you are a motivated individual, have your licensing, and you're a good communicator, you're going to make 6 figures easily in this industry.
Absolutely.
This is obviously a blue-collar industry, but it is one that's well represented by some really good people, and it's a huge opportunity for people that might not have been that college, I'm going to graduate and be a doctor kind of person.
They're making more than college-educated people.
Honestly, a lot of them are. Now, don't get me wrong.
Most.
The hours and stuff are I don't know, kind of similar. They're kind of similar. Doctor, right?
Well, they're similar. Yeah. At our firm, we're working 40, max 60 hours a week. That's not much.
All right.
This is I've been doing this for 20 years now. My previous career, working 70, 80 hours a week, right? And didn't make very much money.
Right.
So it's interesting how this industry works, and it can provide a very good living. Now, I don't know if you guys understand this, but making six figures, you're making more than 90% of all college-educated kids are. This is a fantastic industry. Anybody that is not going to go to college should get in this industry, period. Because they are going to make a living more than any college-educated kid typically will. And that's a fact. You can look it up.
When we're talking about becoming a plumber in Houston, what you're saying is it could be no more true, and people don't realize it. They really don't. The biggest thing that I can say to you watching this is that please understand, though, you have to be motivated, right? This is a very motivated, oriented industry. Mm-hmm. If you're not, it's just like anywhere else you work. Any job you get, you got to start at the bottom. You got to work your way up, and the more motivated you are, the more that you're into it, the more passionate you are about your work, the ceiling is obviously higher for those people. Right?
Absolutely.
What we should do is, why don't we go ahead, and we got a couple guys that we have that let them hear their journey and how it's taken them. What do you think?
Great idea.
My journey started at plumbing back in 2001, right out of high school. I was a typical kid, red hair, earrings all over the place. Somebody groomed me into the person that I am today. I was able to lock in with that guy once more here at Nix, and he took me from being that young guy with no future. A lot of guys where I worked at, even managers would tell me I had no future in the plumbing industry, and here I am doing it 18 years later, and those managers which doubted me, had no faith in me, are no longer with that company I used to work for. And a lot of it came from the person that I work for now. He groomed me into the person that I am, into the technician that I am, which is not easy. It's a lot of hours. Once you get started, the pay is not great once you start. But once you mold into that plumber, and especially here at Nix, they make it so much easier to transition from that helper to that technician, and they help you along the way. That's what makes it great working here.
I started out doing remodeling and new construction. Eventually went to the service part, eventually got all my hours, and picking up everything by every technician, keeping it in my memory. It all just kind of came together, until eventually Richard Sod helped me pay for everything, classes, OSHA classes, all that's necessary just before I could take my test in Austin. Maybe I'll be even in the office personnel as a manager one day. that'll be nice.
So if you have questions or thinking about getting in the industry, or you've got a year or two experience and you are not going where you think you need to go or being educated quickly or enough, we're here to help you as well. Call us.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you.